So Nilesh, first and foremost, huge congratulations for the award, extraordinary achievement. Basically two good things. One is, of course, Quarterfold winning the award, and secondly, of course, the messaging in terms of, what is transpiring in the book space itself. So if you can share what the award means for you, and secondly, what is happening, this churn in the book. I mean, everybody in the first few months of COVID had said the books are dead, printed books, and then the bounce back that we're seeing is extraordinary. So again, if you can give us a sense of both worlds.
First of all, thank you very much.
Right.
It was a pleasure actually to be honored, to get this award. Though it was not our target to achieve this award, but every award is like bonus to us.
Sure.
Gives us more appreciation. And we started this year like with a bang actually. There was last year's spillover, first of all. And then there were some tenders from Africa. We won some tenders in Mozambique, we won in Tanzania.
Yep.
And same time we, invested in some machines.
Yep.
Expanded in double web machines, 32-page machines, and all the stuff. Plus the Indian factor, the Indian publisher also pitch in some part of the business. But as far as this export award is concerned, it was purely on export.
Yeah.
We didn't realize until we delivered around 600 to 700 containers.
Yep.
So though invoices says there's around 700 and something containers, so I don't know which it started from March or April. But once we approached, we were approached by PrintWeek for the category of exports. We just gave our papers and what was. And to be honest, it was like a bonus. Though we knew that, this year should be good for us. Inside mind, we knew that we might be one of the largest. And it was there. So it's good to be there. I mean, we wish to continue similarly next year also.
Sure.
So there's a lot of hard work going on. There's a lot of marketing strategies going on. A lot of new people have joined us in marketing.
So 700 containers obviously means many things. One is, of course, production at that level, that scale, which you're managing to do. Secondly is, of course, the kind of outreach you have in the various territories that you're operating in. And I mean, the easy part in that sense then seems to be the book production, but then the whole supply chain, especially in these volatile times. And then third is having a team which is on the toes all the time. So again, if you can give us a sense about how all these three components come together and then create the magic that you're creating.
So basically the whole, credit goes to the team actually, the production team, So we have, we proudly say that we have the best production team in India.
Okay.
The guys who are there on board, they are from this industry from last 10, 15 years, 20 years, and with knowledge of planning and their own ways to do the business, and they take it as their own business. Because from day one, I was into marketing and I never actually bothered about production. I just hired these guys who supported me. In fact, they told me let's do it together.
Sure.
So I've given them enough freedom, and then good. It was good for me because my energy was full time into marketing, arranging finances and all that stuff. But this production, they expanded themselves, they took interviews, they took the best in the industry, they took interviews from guys from Delhi, from South, even some are from Central India. And they are very happy to work with this brand, Quarterfold, So I was lucky enough to have those kind of setup team.
One of the things I've noticed about your team is it's probably one of the youngest I know of in the book space, book. So is that again a conscious decision that you wanted to, in a way, get in fresh blood? And secondly, also that energy, the dynamism.
See, if you see this fresh, this one, we have this even from age 19 to 25. But those are more into sales support and marketing.
Correct.
Because I groom themselves. So for me, I like to, put my experience to them. So I take these guys who don't have this print knowledge. In terms of marketing and sales. Of course, for production, we can't do that. So production, we need people who are experienced enough, and so that's taken care by a separate group. And marketing is taken care by me.
But what is it you look for? I mean, there will be some 19, 20-year-old who will be watching this interview. What is the one or two things you look for when you will be hiring someone that young who wants to work or be mentored by you?
So one thing which I actually see in the beginning only, that they have this approach of not to go home early. There are some these days young,
of course,
they watch and they go. Very difficult to train them.
True.
This is the only thing you can just gauge from them, that they want to sit and learn more and be part of the success. So there are guys who are 20 years old, guys who are now traveling in Africa. They are luckiest guys. I mean, I'm saying in the industry, they've joined just 1 year back and they're going to book fairs. They're meeting publishers. Because we have confidence in them. And
Yep.
the way they research, the way they approach.
Yep.
It's, of course, a bit of training from our side, but they have their own, characters to get into it.
Yep. Also, something interesting that you did, correct me if I get the dates right, the first 3 or 4 years you were outsourcing a lot of this requirement, the numbers that you were crunching, and then there was this sort of transition and a shift. So again, what is the sort of rationale behind that? And B, was it more so that you wanted to control the quality, you wanted to ensure that the workflow was smooth? What is the sort of, rationale or thought process behind that?
It was a need of our actually.
Right.
We started as a term as a print management, which is quite a international way of doing business.
Correct.
But in India, people say it's a broker, it becomes like an agent and all the stuff.
Yep.
So there was a tagline like, they don't have a printing press and the margins will be.
Yep.
Plus, same time, the other issue was the quality. And if you try to print from somewhere else, not everyone can, can give you the same results. And third was we were creating our own competition, educating them export market. Of course, with the open mind, we are giving them the know-how of the industry. But end of the day, we created our own competition. They went to market themselves.
Also, you're saying some of your print partners approached the publisher.
Everyone is ambitious.
Correct.
They're not wrong.
Of course.
Because they have invested. They will also try. So we don't regret on that. But that gave us a little bit of, thinking. Why not do ourselves? We started with 1, 2, 3 web. Now we have 18 web towers. Which I think is one of the best in India.
And 2 book factories, if I'm not.
Now we have 3.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. And again, what's sort of very interesting is also the kind of amount of travel that you and the kind of one-touch interactions and this thing. I remember one of my younger colleagues sending me an Insta post by you. You were on a flight and I think you're the only one during COVID, right? So again, what is this sort of, because one is the physical part of it where you're, notching up all these hours, but the second is just enormous amount of mental energy where you're obviously every new deal is completely alien to the second one, the earlier one rather. So how does this work for you?
No, still the excitement is there to get the business.
Right.
As I said, I was all in all marketing guy.
Correct.
So it's like a kick you get, like, cracking new deals and exploring new countries. So last year we did Southern American. We did Mexico. We are supplying to Argentina and Puerto Rico. So it's like more fun. Of course, it takes a toll when travel is concerned. With age, now I feel a little tired. So, but now this marketing team is taking over.
Sure.
We have charge one in Europe, one for Southern American countries and some for Africa too.
Right.
So nowadays I don't travel much. But the team is with me.
And what again a lot of people would be interested to know is you've been able to achieve in say a very short span. 10 years is not really a long time. What a whole lot of other organizations have been able to do over 3 decades, 4 decades. So you obviously compressed things. So any learnings from that? I mean, how have you managed? And the other interesting thing is you've been always keeping one step ahead of yourself. I mean, you started off as outsourcing, then you got into content in sense of, amalgamating content with print production. Then you got in print in-house, then you went into, now you're even targeting the domestic Indian book market. So, it's not as if Quarterfold is just one stable status quo kind of a thing. You're constantly moving. So what again is the churning and the thought process?
No, with the capacity, with the increase of capacity. So fill up those capacities in off-season. So typically export is like 8 months season. Now we have 18 web towers. So with that 4 months, we need to fill up with some kind of... So that was the thought behind the domestic market. But fortunately, the domestic market picked up so well. And then our focus is shifting towards domestic market now. Apparently. And then the new guys joining us who are experienced in domestic market, they have given us good hopes that, there's a big market potential and all the stuff. So we're spreading across India in that way. And as far as other companies are concerned, the growth-wise, the only difference I see, I'm not sure I'm right or wrong. In this case, I still work as an employee, like a marketing guy.
Right.
The way I used to work before. I see the difference between the owner of the other companies. They try to do everything, themselves.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen big companies, they get involved in marketing, they get involved in quotations as well. Then in production also, they plan paper, they plan scheduling and all the stuff. They get involved in some extent. For me, I mean, I don't even give a 10% or 5% of my energy in that. We have this is one of the best guys in the industries who take care of that.
Sure.
On the trust, and then they're delivering in every year and year basis. You see the way we are growing also is because of them, because they have been delivering. End of the day, 700 containers were delivered by them.
Yeah.
So equally, this logistic guy is the one who are in charge of containers. Apart from production, the logistics and transportation.
Yeah.
So those also guys are like young guys and with full of energy.
Sure.
And they sometimes they have to deliver containers in the middle of night, 3 o'clock in the morning. To do that, they stay back. To avoid the cutoff dates.
Correct. Got it. So what's other interesting thing as a result of the awards, and also because you're talking to other companies, is that we extrapolated some data and we're looking at about 20-25 odd book exporters from India. And what was very interesting about that list is that there were basically a lot of names in that list who were not the traditional book print firms. I mean, who we thought are the big, I mean, obviously they were there, the replicas and the money funds and so on, but I mean, the Lovelies. But the point is there were a whole lot of new names that have got. So again, is there a churn that's happening where suddenly, people who were traditionally cautious taking the leap, and then of course a lot of, young companies such as yours moving fast?
Yes.
Is there something that's interesting that's happening which,
I have not noticed that, but I feel like, some are content, like the old companies, the one, they're run by the professionals, not by the owners. They have their own targets and their own vision. Like, they don't want to expand far. They don't want to take risk. They don't take courageous decision. I see the young guys who have nothing to lose. Probably they're the one who are coming up because it's time for them. And they've been there forever, the other guys. So somewhere there will be a gap always, Like even like Quarterfold, maybe like not aggressive as the way we are today. So it's always room for the new guys to come in.
And any word of, caution, because suddenly everybody thinks this is the easy way to do it, but I know how tough it's been for you. I mean, there have been, I know instances where debts have, they have climbed. The US currency behaves differently in different territories. Volatility even in terms of government, being uncertain, etc. So again, if there are any 2-3 things that you would say that I remember one very good advice you said, that have a very good, strong local partner. Otherwise, don't venture in that territory. So if there's any tips that you have for anybody?
I mean, if for a new guy to get into export is like first to understand the geopolitical situation of the country, or
right,
in the economical situation of the country also. The way the currency is behaving there, it can depreciate like 30-40% like in a week's time. And then how do you recover your money from there? So it is a challenge, and it's still a big challenge. Even we are suffering from there. I mean, we have lost a lot of money also. People see the rosy picture,
of course,
but we have lost a lot of money also. I mean, we have lost some clients also. When the money doesn't come, there's always a legal, thing. And when you go for legal, you lose a customer.
Correct.
So it's a challenge, and this challenge has just come up from last 2 years and growing actually.
Sure.
So I think the idea of the one who wants to really grow is put our factory there itself and manage money from there, and
Sure. What next for Quarterfold? I mean, like if I meet you 5 years down the line, 2030.
So this is something which we have just come up 6 months back. We got into digital wall printing. So we invest in the coating machines where we print and coat, and then do rural branding.
Nice.
We have customers like ITC on board. We do Dabur, we do Wagh Bakri Chai. So this is all together, not books. Just to get into printing, and because it's always good to diversify. And
Sure.
So even that market seems to be huge because there's a lot of budget in branding. So we are hoping that
this would be what, shop in shop retail kind of.
That's part of it also, in shop branding and retail and board activation.
Right.
But the major business will be digital wall media, where you see when you go to any rural villages, you see this ad of Lifebuoy on the wall of any of the houses. But that's actually the paper which is
so like OOH, but
on the wall.
Oh, nice.
It's an image from the paper is goes to the wall.
Right.
So we have started that. It's the second year of that business.
Sure. Nice. And books? I mean,
books also now we might get into print on demand. And then there is another segment which we are working on. It is a religious segment. Like Bible or Bhagavad Gita and other religious materials. We were focusing only on education. We moved to corporate. We printed balance sheets. We print forms for banks and all the stuff.
Yeah.
And then this is the other segment, religious, which we want to explore.
Yeah, that's good. And just one, I mean, I know you manufacture books. Will Nilesh be writing a book, the travelogue, the travels of Nilesh? I mean, you have some crazy stories, I know.
On a personal note, yes, I can share a lot of experience.
Yeah, and they're fun, and they're really funny. I mean, they're really fun. I mean, the kind of territories and the kind of small towns and the kind of delicacies you've eaten in some remote corner of Mogadishu or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I had my own experience in life, so there's no regret on that.
Sure.
That's a wonderful part of, traveling, that you explore. And when you are adventurous enough to eat anything, to travel anywhere, to wear whatever, and you'll enjoy it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. And always a pleasure to have a conversation with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.